I am so sorry. There's been a problem. I don't know how it automatically got disconnected. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know how it automatically got disconnected. My net is good, but something happened. I'm really sorry about it. I'm so sorry.
That's okay, Priya. I think I got disconnected. I thought maybe my air fryer is on. Maybe that's why it is got disconnected. Something I came back to another room. I don't know.
Something happened. Even I didn't realize. I just realized now that something happened. So let me please help me out. Where did I stop? Where did you guys lose? I mean,
I heard until orange color, something like,
okay.
we can increase our.
In this slide? I will just start sharing. Okay. Inherent tendencies. Okay, I'll keep it in mind. So I better not enlarge the screen because I don't even know when I'm losing the connection. So it's better if I can see you all. Okay, so should I repeat this slide about the inherent tendencies? You can just raise the hand. Okay, thank you. So in the inherent tendencies, like I said, you have to write down all the worst part of yourself. Is between the conversation between you and your book, nobody else. Write down the worst thing about you and write down opposite to that. Let's say your anger, write down opposite to that, calm. If you're greed, write down something non-greedy. Okay, if you're happy, unhappy, write down joy. So write down all these good things and analyze how do you achieve it. Like you have given the, did you hear the example of you're having a conversation with your friend, heated argument? So I'll move forward if you have heard that. So you always calm down and you come back to that conversation and you'll see their different perspective. It was very simple concept, but you that day you both were angry, which can be dealt by being moving away from it or being calm. It is much easier that way. Now, these cylindrical structures are put together for a very good reason because human brain is associated with the memory, photogenic memories. You know, how this photogenic memories is not just by hearting or remembering every single thing, but this photogenic memory is related to the structures. You know, in the pyramids, if I say triangle, you immediately know, okay, something is related to the triangle. If you say cube, something is related to the cube. So it's very easy to memorize certain things, just by seeing the structures. And that's why this cylindrical structure was developed. So it is easy for the human body, for human mind to understand our emotions. You see how narrow the lower density emotions are. It's not expanding, it's narrow. That means if you're living in a narrow, lower density, you're only thinking in this way. There's no expansion. You're not waking up. You're not understanding how important it is to move forward, understand these concepts. But as you move forward, you see there is an expansion. It's infinite and it's moving up and up and up and up. The same way the triangle. Triangle is the most highest and most protective and most beautiful structure. So most houses, you have these mandalas in Hindu cultures. We have this certain geometrical structures that we hang in front of our doors that will relate to the divine conscious. A lot of people in Hindu culture think that it is to worship the god, but it is a sacred geometry that protects our well-being in the house from unwanted energies. The same way the cubes, the rings, the crowns of the queen is ring, the Saturn is surrounded by the rings, circles, the cube, the Mecca's holy places with the cube. All these structures have a very significant role to, connect with the divinity. The next is, please mute. Okay. The next is water molecule. It is first, guys.
phone switch off ஆகாம பாத்துக்கோ.
I think somebody has to mute. Okay. So the next is water molecule. Now it is introduced by Dr. Masaru Emoto. He has done a certificate in alternative medicine from an open university, and he accidentally got into this water molecular concept. He was doing some other research and he accidentally bumped into it. And today he has developed a great information research in this water molecular structure. In his words, by holding the intention of peace towards water, by thinking, speaking, and acting with the intention of peace towards water, water can and will bring peace to our bodies and to the world. Water has a very strong memory, and you also have to understand in today's time, we are at the cusp of in a transition from one I think Pisces to the Aquarius. Okay, that's why the water today time is very closely related, because we are moving into the Aquarian age, and water carries a very significant element in our existence. And 70 to 70% of 75% of our body is water. So imagine if a water has a memory, how much memory are we carrying? If imagine you're carrying a lower density emotion, imagine how much memory your body is carrying. All the lower density. I'm always angry. I'm always greedy. I'm always jealousy. You're not expanding. You're just limited to that lower density. Now, see what happens for you to achieve, for one person to achieve the spiritual hierarchy. How do you can write the inherent tendencies, you can work on it. Another concept, another way of helping yourself is through water molecule. Now, let's just say, have you seen a person who is very angry? Their face is so distorted, you can see the facial structure, you can see the wrinkles and everything. Okay. So what Dr. Amaro did is that he took the frozen water molecule, he put it under the microscope, and he named every water molecule different names like love, happiness, gratitude, harmony, compassion. And when he looked into the microscope, these are the crystalline structures that he found. You see how beautiful they are? They're just a water molecule, but under the microscope, high density photo microscope, he found these crystalline structures. You can see lover, Om. Om has such a big power when you're chanting Om, how much vibrations it is creating. Namaste, love and happiness, innocence, perfect harmony, water crystal. This is a gratitude crystal. Now, this is very important. Now, if because most ladies wants to stay young for longer time without doing much to their skin, I would suggest go with a good thinking, because the moment you start showing anger and all these bad emotions, you will start seeing wrinkles at early age. For me, it always works. Every time I feel like, oh, I'm going into the lower density, I like, no, it is going to reflect on my face. I'm very particular about my face, so that's how I help myself and move into the higher dimension. So when you're vibrating at higher frequencies, love, happiness, and gratitude, all this frequency, what is happening is, because we are of 70 to 70% of water, 75% of water, our cells are taking that information. Now you have to understand, our DNA is resonating with the earth frequency. So our DNA is like a software. If you are going to upgrade it, it's going to upgrade. If you're not going to upgrade, it's going to stay the same way, or like an old phone with no use. So our DNA needs to get activated. So when you're having all these good emotions, your DNA is getting activated, and the DNA is giving the cells a structure, and that structure is forming into the tissues, and that tissue is forming into the physicality. It is that simple. So let's say you walk into a room, you're very simple dressed, no lot of makeup, you're very happy, you walk in, but everybody is looking at you. The reason why everybody is looking at you is because you're resonating at higher dimension. You don't have to wear expensive clothes. You don't have to wear great makeup and everything. But because you're resonating higher dimension, you're automatically giving out that glow at such a level that everybody's looking at you and everybody wants to come and talk to you. It's like, they are attracted to you like a honeybees. They're attracted to the honey for no reason, because of your higher dimension resonance. It is that powerful. So when you're thinking, power of thoughts and words, this is what happens when you're thinking and saying. In Telugu, in our language, there is a saying called "Nor bounte ur bounte." That means if your words are good, it also represents where you're coming from. You know which kind of a society and place you're coming from. So words should always be very carefully chosen, because it will also reflect our physicality, our thinking, our entire realities. You know. So this is why water molecule technique is so helpful. I believe in this concept. I have experimented on myself. I am in my mid 30s, and most people say I don't look like I'm a person in my 30s. And that's maybe because I have everything I have researched, I have experimented on myself. The best thing to get result is experimenting on yourself rather than experimenting on others. So, and it has given me an amazing results, and I truly believe in these concepts. Now, I will show you some of the structures, like you can see here. This is the photo on the left is of an ice crystal frozen from severely polluted water. The photo on the right is the same water refrozen after having been blessed by Dr. Emito. One can plainly see that we do have the ability not only to heal ourselves, but our earth as well. You see how distorted the polluted water is. It is not blessed. It is not said. It is just polluted. You see the structure. It is not structure at all. But once you tell the water, please heal, please vibrate in a higher frequency, you see the structure, how beautiful the crystalline structures are. And on the other side, as you can see, compassion, thank you, wisdom, and I think it's love or something. And then heavy metal music. When you listen to the heavy metal music, is completely distorted. Sound waves also have the ability to affect our structures. So when you're listening to the pleasant music, you're so calm and so relaxed. If you're listening to the high frequency and heavy metal, it's like, what is this playing? It's hurting my ears. And the words like, I will kill you, I will destroy you. See how distorted these structures are. You fool. You see, these all things suggest that these words actually destroy our cellular structure too. So when people say I have cancer, a lot of people go into the past life regressions and they come out with the concept like, in the past life I carried some emotions, I did not learn my lesson, so I'm carrying this cancer now. The reason they carrying this cancer now is because from the beginning of their time, from their existence, be life, past life, be in this planet or any planet, they carried those emotions, and they carried those emotions in every lifetime, and they never bothered to clear it. So when they never bothered to clear it, see, this became a memory for them, and that memory is forming into a disease. Let's say you wake up every day in the morning and say, I'm healthy and I'm happy. You see, when you say those words, you're automatically the entire cellular structure of your body changes to that. I know a lot of people, you cannot see your cellular structure changing, but you keep doing it after 1 month and you see everybody will say, you look so healthy, you look so happy. How is it possible? Because you're tuning your body, your DNA into that. And that's how you're clearing your karmic cycle. Karmic cycle is just not learning your lessons, but it's also clearing your emotions. Everything is correlated. Just because in the past life you have a bad karma and you're having the same karma now, you can clear it by clearing your emotions, by clearing your thoughts. It's that simple. Once you learn that lesson, once you learn to forgive people, once you learn to let go, a lot of your energies are shed out. Like for every spring, we clean our house. Imagine every spring you cleaning your body by letting go your emotions. How much drastic differences is going to make, you know? The next is power of thoughts and words, saying, you make me sick. I hate you. Everything is distorted. That words itself is such a heavy. Why would you want to say that to anybody? but you say, "Hi, I love you. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much." Your entire face expression changes. You become so happy. You have that compassion towards the people. You meet people. You smile. You give so much. Everything in your body is resonating in a higher dimension crystalline structures. Now, there is one thing what I have done, that I have a group of people who are into graphics. What I asked them was that, can you make an archetype? Archetype in this is a crystalline structure, right? So what we did, that let's say you take a trace of paper, and on the trace of paper we are tracing the lines. We are not forming these deep structures, but we are just tracing the lines like this, like this, like this, hexagon, pentagon, all those things. And when we remove the trace, we see there's a sacred geometry. Now, this sacred geometry is similar to the mandala and Markaba. Mandala and Markaba is a structure of divinity. So you see, all these words are resonating to the divinity. That's how, that's what I'm saying. All the researchers, when they have researched so intensely, they found out that everything is connecting to the one source. They're going everywhere, they're doing all the other things, but it all come down to one thing, the divine source. This is a simple example. When you trace these structures with your pencils, you will see they are relating to the sacred geometrical structures that are mandala and markaba of divineness. You know, it is that simple. So imagine you are a divine. Every day you're waking up, you're saying good things about yourself. You're resonating at that divine divinity. It is that powerful. We have the ability to be a divine. We just don't realize it because we don't know how to tune into these concepts, how to tune into how to, change our emotions, how to understand our emotions. The next is law of attraction, manifestation, and QHHT. Now, before we go into this manifestation, I like to give an example. This was experimented in Japan. There was a polluted water body. I don't know if it's a lake or river, but there was a polluted water body in Japan. And what these people did was, just a second. Okay. So what these people did, they would go to this water body every day and they say good things. Please heal. Please vibrate in higher dimensions. Please cleanse yourself. What happened after a month or 2 months? They rechecked the water body and they saw the pollution was gone. The government did not have to invest in anything. You know, it simply cleansed itself because every day people would go and say good things to the water. That water had started to resonate with the words of the people and it cleansed itself. That is what the manifestation and law of attraction is all about. It is that simple. These concepts seem different at first, but if you start connecting the dots, you will realize that it is so simple. You just have to learn to tune your emotions at certain frequencies to achieve certain manifestations in life. And now the same thing, see, these are simple concepts, and I also call it as an internal cycle recycling. Now, the same internal recycling was applied in the pyramids of Egypt. You know, the pyramids of Egypt, a lot of people don't know is that they have an internal cycle. In the night time, if you go to the Egypt and in the night time you have the chance of watching the pyramids, there are special kind of specs that you have to put it down, and you can see the energies floating in the air around the pyramids. That's because inside the pyramids, they have a internal energy recycling system created by the phoenix and the Ra in that time period. We have a combustive energy system. Let's say you have a refrigerator. Every time the refrigerator burns, it gives a byproduct of carbon, right? So we have a combustive energy system. What these pyramid people did is that they developed an internal system where the energies are cleansing by itself and revolving in itself and creating higher dimensions by itself. It is not giving any byproduct. As long as you have a byproduct, you're creating another chain of bad emotions or bad outcomes. But if you learn to recycle it, you're achieving more and more and more. And that's what we call karmic cycle, cleansing your karma. It is not done by outside. You have to do it by yourself, but without releasing a byproduct. It is the best way to achieve hierarchy in the spirituality by recycling your emotions. Every time you go into the lower dimensions, come back. Remember the molecular structure, remember the water's crystalline structure, that how it is forming. If I'm having a bad thoughts, that means everything on my body is look like that. I shouldn't have that thoughts. Okay, let's move into higher dimension. How do we the start thinking? There is an experiment done on the athletes a few years ago, Olympic athletes, and they would be put into this what you say certain hypnotherapy. It is not a hypnotherapy; it's more like a music hypnotherapy. They put into the headphones and they like they are asked to imagine they're running on a field. Let's say it's a runner. Let's say it's a runner. They're running on a field and they have this music where everybody is shouting, come on, let's do it, let's do it. So what is happening is that those words are encouraging the Olympics athletes to achieve the first prize. They're tuning into that memory. It is not happening, but their brain is tuning into it. So whatever doubts they had in their mind, it is going away, and they're tuning into hierarchy by believing that I have achieved the gold medal, I have achieved the bronze or whatever it is. So they are tuning into that by going into the music hypnotherapy. Like I said, even music is connected to the divine. So there are so many techniques all around the world applied to achieve the spiritual evolution. It is just not one thing, it is everything. And everything constitute to divine force. What method you follow to achieve that is up to the person. For every person is different. So these are the concepts that were applied. Now you see law of attraction, it works by your thoughts. For example, I'm sitting and say like, oh, today I want to have a chocolate. Okay, it's just my thought. And suddenly somebody comes to me and says, hey, it's my birthday, take a chocolate. So I have attracted just by thought. Okay, now I'm thinking I want to build a beautiful home, a perfect palace. Now I thought, and eventually maybe in 2 years I achieved it. That is a manifestation. It is written, is what we create from those thoughts. Once you think something and you tune into that hypnotherapy, your self hypnotherapy, that means, see, law of attraction manifestation is the first two steps to achieve before you go into QHHT, because you're cleansing your emotions. If you say, I want to have a lot of money around me, in order to achieve that, you have to clear your bad emotions. Stop thinking I can't get money. Stop thinking I can't achieve it. Stop thinking I'm not capable, I'm not worth it. Remove those thoughts and say, I can do it. I just have to figure it. I'll do it. Just move into it. So once you tune into it, you're automatically hypnotizing your mind without your consciousness. You're automatically tuning, hypnotizing your mind, and you're moving into the direction and you're achieving that manifestation. It is that simple. I know a lot of people say, no, it's not possible. It is possible. You never sat down with yourself. You never wrote down the worst thing about you, and you never analyzed that how to correct it. So without doing all this, you cannot simply say, I can't achieve it. You have to put yourself into that process. Now, once you achieved your hypnotism, then you move into QHHT. The reason you have to achieve these two first steps is because in the QHHT, you go into a deeper and deeper level. And that is not easy to achieve. The reason it is not easy to achieve, let's say I am the first person. I did not do the first two. I did not cleanse my emotions. I did not meditate. I did not apply law of attraction and manifestation. I'm simply sitting. Okay. And I go into the QHHT. The person who is trying to turn into deep hypnotism, he has spent 2 hours with you to take you into the deep hypnotism. And yet you're not able to go there. Why? Because the moment you're sleeping, I have to wake up. Oh, my kids are asleep. I have to clean the house. You have all these thoughts. You have not controlled these emotions. Until unless you control these emotions, until unless you cleanse this, you cannot achieve QHHT. It is that simple. The meditation is important. Cleansing your emotions are important. So once you self hypnotize yourself, you tune into that hierarchy, it is easy to achieve QHHT. So instead of spending 2 hours, you're spending half an hour at the most, or 1 hour at the most, and you're tuning in. You're directly going to the deep conscious, and boom, you're going to the past life regressions, you're going to the future life progressions, you're going to the higher conscious. All those things are that easily achieved. So, in order to get QHHT, you have to, by default, engage in the first few steps. That is, inherent tendencies. Work on your inherent tendencies. Work on water molecular structure. That means every time you drink water, pray to the water, because it will carry the memory. So let's say you're praying, I want a lot of love, happiness. It is carrying that memory. And you drink that water, your cells are taking that, because your cells are also made of water, right? So they are all having a chain reaction inside. So the ones that water is introduced, it is having a chain reaction. It's like, okay, everybody be lovey, lovey, dovey, dovey, and everything in your body is beautiful. That's how it is happening. You have to think in such chain reaction process to understand how these structures are working. And always remember this cylindrical structure. This should be your target. Every time you go down into your emotions, imagine this is your target. To achieve that, you have to forget this part of your cylindrical structure. It should cease to exist. That should be a target. Once you have this target in your mind, it is easy to get into QHHT. Even sometimes it so happens that you can trigger certain activation in your DNA that you don't even require QHHT. You're directly connected to the higher conscious without going through the QHHT, because you have cleansed your karmic cycle through your emotions, through your different techniques, and you have achieved it. It is that simple. And that's why, because law of attraction manifestation, today a lot of people believe in affirmations. People believe in writing, I'm grateful, I'm thank you for everything. They write all this because they have understood the significance, that how the words and thoughts are resonating with our DNA. The concept on the DNA is much vast. If anybody is interested, I can put together another session. But DNA plays a very important role. Very recently, like few decades ago, couple of decades ago, they started working on DNA, and they found that there are so many in the DNA structures. They have experimented different techniques, and they realized that some part of the DNA, when they triggered certain music or certain techniques, and they removed that music and techniques, the DNA structure is still replicating without the trigger, because the DNA has that memory. It is a completely different concept, but it's a very unique and very different, and it will help in our spiritual evolution as well. So this DNA activation has a different concept which I can introduce, but you have to understand that when you're dealing with words, always remember it is affecting our DNA on a cellular level. It has a memory, it is remembering it. Even if, let's say, you have changed your bad emotions, it is going to take some time for the DNA to re-replicate that bad emotions. It took them one and a half month for that DNA replication to stop by itself without the trigger. They just introduce the trigger once, and they remove the trigger. And once they remove the trigger, they're seeing the DNA is still replicating by itself, because the sound waves, the light resonance and the sound resonance has still in the space. Time and space concept is a very different concept. Maybe I'll come to that some other time. But it's a very unique, and it will help you understand that DNA do have memories. So it will take time. Once you're cleansing, it will take time for some months to remove those emotions and go into the hierarchy. But just because it's going to take time doesn't mean you should stop. Keep building it. So let's say this is your bad emotions replicating the DNA, and this is your good emotions replicating. So once this is happening, uh, once this is happening, you're though it is replicating, you're also simultaneously replicating higher dimensions. So it will stop eventually, but this will continue. So never stop your evolutionary process. Continue, keep continuing, because it will replicate. The more you continue, the more replication will happen, and the more higher conscious is easy to tune into. Now, coming to QHHT, what can we achieve? Now, I'll tell you the very basic thing. But before we get into it, like Dolores Cannon has said, everything in your life you have put there, you have created it. If you don't like what is happening in your life, you can change it. It is all up to you. We can say, how can you change it in situation? Well, if you choose to stay in that situation, you're going to stay in that situation. Nobody is going to help you. See, external forces can only do so much. The internal change is only up to the person. You cannot force the person to think positive. I can only say, hey, think positive, but I can't do anything more than that. Absolutely nothing. I can only motivate them, give them techniques, help them, or take them to some specialist. That's all. But I cannot go into their body and start thinking. The person has to resonate in that level to change the situation for anybody, any kind of situation. Now, in the QHHT techniques, what happens is that because a lot of people lack knowledge, they often comes with the problems like I have diseases, so diseases and healing, relationships problems, emotional setbacks, weight loss, weight gain is also a problem and it can be achieved by QHHT. Pain, certain pain in the body. A lot of doctors cannot figure out what is the pain, but the person keep feeling the pain, and through QHHT we can identify, we can rectify, or we can heal, or we can do something about it. Past life regressions, future life progression. Sorry, it's written regression, but it's a progression. Soul after death, soulmates, twin flames, and divine consciousness, and beyond. There are a lot of concepts in QHHT. It is not just related to these things. These are just the base that I have touched. But once, like I said, once you tune your entire cellular level into some emotion, you will start exploring, it start expanding. Let's say you have tuned your entire emotion into love. Believe me, you will start expanding in a way you cannot imagine. Like, I didn't know there's so many concepts about love. I didn't know that so much can happen through love. You know, it's because you have limited your mind to certain aspects. Like you're sitting in a four wall and you're thinking that four wall is the only world for you. You come out of the four wall, you see the fifth wall, and you see universe is so organized and everything is there, but we are not tuning into it. So QHHT is beyond that. These are just the basics to help the humanity to start somewhere, but it's not the entire thing. It is more than that. Now, before we end up, I like this quotation a lot, so I have put it. World is a multi-dimensional reality. At lower level, it is full of unconsciousness and competitiveness. At higher level, it is full with beauty, bliss, divinity. Focus on higher dimensions. If you ever have anything bad or thinking some lower density, always remember this quotation. It has helped me a lot because it's a fact. When you're higher level, everything is beautiful. You don't have to put makeup on, you don't have to dress well. You just vibrate. Your skin becomes a dress code. Your body, your everything becomes a beauty, a makeup in itself. Everybody will look at you and like, you're so beautiful for no reason. You're a simple person, but everything is beautiful. So this is it. If anybody has any questions, then I can take it up.
Thank you, Priya. It's a wonderful class, wonderful explanation how to raise the energy levels. And if you give us a class about the DNA, how to change the DNA with the music and other stuff also, that would be helpful for us to grow spiritually. Thank you. Thank you for your efforts.
Thanks. Anybody has any
Lot of
questions?
lot of energy
Thank
put into this class.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Priya. And we are looking forward to many such classes. So this was all the basics, and we are very thankful to you for clearing it in all details. And lovely to interact with you during this session. Got to learn so many new things. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for listening. If anybody has any questions, any doubts, I can clear up.
And we're really looking forward to many such sessions, Dr. Priya.
Sure, sure. I can work if DNA activation, definitely I can work on that. There are different techniques for law of attraction and manifestation QHHT as well. But understand each concepts are very vast in itself. Today I have just given the gist. Whichever concepts you like, we can work on it and we can take a session.
Thank you so much for this wonderful session. Very enlightening.
Thank you. Your good name, please?
I am Maria.
Maria. How did you tune into this session?
I'm on the QHTT group.
Okay.
And I like Dolores Cannon very much. I met her in 2005.
Oh, you are
and
lucky one.
yes, I think so. And it was wonderful to meet her. And now to get back into the rhythm, it's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. You're from?
I'm from Mumbai.
Oh, that's nice. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So anybody has any more questions?
Would
Can
love
you
to
send
have
me
more
this
sessions.
class?
I'm
If
sorry?
it is possible, link.
Link to the recorded version?
Yes.
Yes, I will surely update. Actually, I think I have accidentally stopped the recording earlier. And like I said, there was some disturbance and disconnection. So whatever the recording that I have in this session, I'll put it definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Like I said, looking forward to more such meetings.
Yes, definitely. Definitely, Maria. Thank you. So we can wind up here today. If anybody has any doubt, they can leave a message or call me personally, no problem. And like Vijaya Garu said, we will definitely, I need at least 2 months to put together DNA activation. The reason I need 2 months because it is not that easy concept. It is a heavy terminology, and I cannot simply use the terminology because most of you will not understand what I'm saying. So I have to simplify certain concept or focus on one concept and make you understand what this terminologies means, what this terminologies effects have. So I have to put together all this and make it, so it will take 1 or 2 months, but I will definitely update you about the session. Meanwhile, if there are any other minimal sessions which doesn't need such heavy terminology, I can also update you about those sessions as well.
Thank you.
So we will wind up today. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Definitely, I will explain about the DNA replication. I could have explained now, but it will take a lot of time because it has certain effects. I have to explain what are those effects and how they are replicating all those things. They are very deep. So I'll definitely take the time to explain that session as well. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chandna Garu. Good night, everybody.
Right, ma'am. The session is very, very wonderful. Actually, at some moments I became speechless.